You have such a unique voice, Liz. How do you describe the music you make?
Um, Genre bendy.
A little
Uh,
Americana, it's a little 60s.
yeah, and I think like more so as my music journey continues, it's like the sonic shifting. I feel like that's also part of my voice, like sonically shifting and not and also like just yeah, kind of shape shifting and telling my stories of like where I'm at in like my current time and I think with that, my voice is always changing. I'm like, you know, I think like from like a like how I'm singing has changed. From I think like a when I first was touring, I think I just like gave it all I got every single night and realized that that was not sustainable for my
Oh, you blew
voice.
out your voice.
Yeah, and I would get really really bad sinus infections and just have to kind of like figure out how to do it. I would lose my voice a lot, and I think really with the last two albums or with Hot Sass and now putting out my album New Day, I'm singing a lot more gingerly, or I feel like
Safely?
I've like learned how to sing and do it in a way where I can do it for the long haul. And yeah, I think kind of like you're always finding your voice as you make albums and write songs, and whether that's like through writing or like the music, like the sonic music, or like how I'm singing, it's always shifting, for me to try to find my voice. And so I feel like right now, how I've been doing it, at least with Hot Sass and with New Day, it feels like the most me I've ever been. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but maybe.
Who are some artists that influenced you when you were growing up?
I was definitely really into like the 60s and 70s kind of music, and like also current, like I think a lot of like artists that come to mind for me, it was like uh Sheryl Crow or the Grateful Dead. I grew up going to a lot of like jam concerts with my dad. My dad was a big Deadhead, and we would go to all of the like classic like jam or like classic rock concerts. Like I remember seeing Peter Frampton and the Allman Brothers and all of these people. But yeah, I think as I was like listening to them, like I loved singing to Sheryl Crow. I feel like that was like a really big deal for me. I was just like doing harmonies, to her songs in the car as like a little kid, or Stevie Nicks. Like I loved singing
Have to do
Stevie
that.
Nicks. Yeah, I would love to like impersonate Stevie, and that was a really fun thing for me. And yeah, and then I think like I'm I'm an only child, so I feel like hanging out with my parents where like I was definitely very influenced by the things that they were listening to because we were hanging out all the time. Um, but I started to find my own music that I really liked, and it was like more so like of like the modern music at the time, and but also like I loved listening to Nirvana and like the Foo Fighters and kind of just like these heavier uh like modern bands at the time. But oh my gosh, yeah, it's always changing. I wouldn't say there's like necessarily one artist that like, really uh like gets my rocks off or whatever.
You talked a little about creating New Day and where that inspiration came from. When it comes to your songwriting, is there a particular way you tend to write a song, whether the music or the lyrics come first, or does it change every time?
It's always changing. This album for me was the first time that I had ever really uh taken on so much, like
Hmm.
for the whole process. Writing, I think like I would normally like for window flowers or even for hot sass, I was touring so much and would have my band around me. And I was like working on writing a lot of those songs when I was touring or playing bar gigs, or, I think like Window Flowers came together through just like playing a bunch of bar gigs and not like that was kind of how I learned how to play the guitar. It was being like, okay, we have 3 hours, we need to like kill a lot of time. So like we're gonna just start jamming and like messing around. And I think a lot of the songs came together through that process, like as a band. For Hot Sass, it was a lot more intentional. In a way where I really sat down with like my acoustic guitar. I created these songs and then I brought it to my band at that time, which was a different band than the Window Flowers band. And then, still like really was touring a lot during that time and pushed through to like you know, kind of like fine tuning the songs that we had written and
Hmm.
that I had written to get them to a place to be ready for the studio. And New Day was like a totally different experience in that, it was during the pandemic. I was living in New York. I had, not necessarily a band around me. I wasn't touring. So a lot of this came together through my experience of learning how to record and engineer. And a lot of this was written with me like starting on a drum machine, and then building things from there and recording it, and then taking the things that I was recording and then going for walks and just starting to write to the things that I was making and listening to. And I feel like it was a lot of like me relying on myself to uh, finish a song and finish a project, and not so much be like leaning on, someone in my band to be like, okay, like, well, this is what we've got to like get this song together, like, drums, bass, guitar. It was a lot of me like doing it myself, recording, and playing the piano. That was a really big shift for me. Most of these songs I wrote, yeah, not using the guitar. A lot of these new songs are me playing the piano or, um, playing the bass, like playing drums or whatever it may be. And I think the shift of like my vocals and how they may be more, it's like very, I wanted to make something that was like me being really intimate and it's like very like close in your ears and, so I think kind of like creating this really intense sonic journey, and being like really like close with the listener was what I wanted. And that's very different than my other records.
With this, I love the the single art for New Day. You're just face planted in the grass.
Yeah.
Where did that concept come from?
Well, I got together with a couple of friends of mine, Michael Hines and Emily Nolan. They're really, yeah, really close friends of mine. We have known each other for a very long time. And Mike is a photographer and Emily is a stylist. And the three of us kind of like put this image together. And the collection of images are, it's from one photo shoot that we did with the album cover with my face smushed up against the glass and me being face down in the grass. And I feel like this collection of songs for me was extremely difficult for me to get through. It's about a really toxic relationship that I was in. And, a lot of it was happening in my space. Like I feel like everything, this record is like me and being in my like apartment and living in my space and going through a lot internally and also, having some just really intense relationship issues and, um, feeling like I couldn't really say what I needed to say or like wasn't allowed to say what I needed to
Mm.
say like directly. So I think the photos are like this thing of me, it's like me trying to like escape or like, but like also being like really direct. And I think like, me being face down in the grass, it's like funny, it's self-deprecating, it's like very vulnerable and just being like, here, just like stab me in the back, and just being like, it's like taking a powerful image or like a powerful emotion, and putting humor in it. And I feel like the three of us are really good at that, and we appreciate humor in dark moments. But yeah, I think like that photo came together and there was a lot of intention that went behind the whole photo shoot in that apartment and yeah, and just kind of like the meaning behind all of these images. It was hard to like put into words, but I think like trying to like capture this feeling that we were like, yeah, like that feels correct. Like that feels like uh, what this song or what this record is saying. It's like being trapped but pushing through and being, I don't know.
Are there some songs you're looking forward off New Day to to start performing live here in the future?
Yeah, well, I've started to perform the songs IDFK and
Okay.
New Day that are released. That's been really fun to start, be on stage and performing them. But I'm really excited to, I haven't had the opportunity to play these live really besides those. Like the way that I recorded all of these songs, it was piece by piece, not very much so like we're doing this as like a band and so I'm excited to put this together with a band and figure out how to perform it and see how it changes. I feel like that's something that I really enjoy about live performing, is taking something that people expect to hear from a record and kind of like shifting and changing it and
Yeah.
making it into its own experience. So, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to play all of these new songs and um I think uh, yeah, I feel like I'm excited for Loss of Signal to play that live off of the new record and um also to embrace some of these like more intimate moments and
Hmm.
like I think that'll all be really fun to play.
What do you hope lingers with audiences that explore New Day as a whole? Is there an emotion or message you hope lingers there?
Um, yeah, definitely. It's hard for me to say or like I've been so in the thick of it. It's to have space from it. I still don't have a ton of space from the record, to know exactly what that message would be. But I
Mhm.
think, I think I feel like people connect with my music, coming from a place of like a lot of people are like, this helped me so much, or like this, I was struggling through this thing and this song really connected with me. And so I think, anyone who's going through anything, whatever that may be, to just, I feel like, I just, kind of cut through the bullshit and say things how they are. And, um, people connect with it. And yeah, and I think, uh, there's probably a lot more concise things that I could say, but they're not coming to mind right now for me.
Are you back in the studio already to making some new music, or are you focused right now still on New Day?
I definitely have another project or another album that I've been working on, it kind of like in tandem with New Day. And I'm excited to see that through as well, and just, continue to put out as much music as possible in the years to come.
You are incredible at making music. Do you have any collaborations you would love to do in the future?
Oh, definitely. Um, well, I really like Lil Yachty. That's someone that I'm like, that would be cool to make music with Lil Yachty. I think it would be really fun to, um, I don't know. There's the Burlington, Vermont music scene. There's a lot of really amazing music coming out of there right now, and I'd like to collaborate more with them. It's like Lily Seabird or Robber, Dari Bay, Greg Freeman. Um, yeah, I think they're all doing really interesting stuff, and yeah.
Interesting collab there.
Yeah.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the beautiful music you continue to make?
Thank you for being here always and showing up, uh, even when I'm in feeling like I'm in despair and need to not be doing this anymore. I feel like, especially with like the separation of not necessarily going on tour very much over the last couple of years, I think, anytime that I have played a show and people whenever they show up, it really like means the world, and it makes me want to keep going, having like one-on-one conversations with people and hearing how excited they are about like the new music, especially. I feel like that is always really that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. And yeah, it's hard. There's so much music out there. There's so much noise, and to know that people connect to the noise that I'm making is really nice. And it makes me want to keep on going and keep making stuff.
Well, I'm looking forward to many, many more projects to come from you.
Thanks, Jamie.